Among His Tribe. This was requested by ThatRockPlayer. Thank you so much. This kind of caught me off guard. So there's it's really the tuning of this one. It's a bit odd. So in case you haven't heard of their, you may have seen some live videos of them doing this. They're clearly on the record doing it in the key of D, right? And this is one of those songs where I may have suspected they may have done some tape stuff, because it's those guitars sound really nice and full and deep. But you know, it's just, as far as I'm concerned and aware, they're not doing any weird tape stuff. It's just the, you know, as recorded guitar, because the vocals, of course, don't sound down tuned or pitch shifted at all. Really, they're really nice, by the way. But the tuning for this, you may have seen some videos on the internet of whether it was Jeaner and Dave Drywitz playing an acoustic show, or some of the times they've played this in recent years. They've got a capo on the 2nd fret, and they're playing it in the key of E, right? And you can do that, and the band has done that. But on sometimes, I noticed specifically a handful of shows from like 2017 that they've played this at, they do it open and tuned like this. I was like, that's really weird. And on top of that, and I don't know why because, you know, they raise the key. That's so weird. You would think that they would lower the key. So I don't know why they would do that, other than maybe they just like how it sounds more, or what. I don't really get it personally. But so the tuning for this, you may have heard of DADDAD, sort of one of the more famous weird guitar tunings. That's where it's like DADGAD. This is what this is DADDAD. So it's for each of the strings, it's D, A, D, D, A, D, right? So, and the interesting thing about it is that your D and your G strings are both D, so they're in unison. And I've heard some guys play this, and they do it in it's almost DADDAD, but it's they tune down their G string to an F sharp, so that'd be this note. That'd be this note, so that's the major third in there. So that'd be an open, like a D major chord if you play that open. But I've noticed when he's definitely playing it in DADDAD tuning. That G string's definitely a D, because some of the chord voicings are kind of weird. It sounds fine at first, you know, but it's a little weird. So what he's doing this kind of finger picked mostly, but you can totally do it with a pick. It's just a bit more, sounds a lot more like the record. So I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of, you know, steady picking patterns. It's more like more of a loose kind of, you know, there's not really a particular picking pattern to it. So the opening, so that he's just, that's a really nice thing about this tuning, is that it's really just a D5, a D power chord. It's only got those 2 notes in it, D and A, and so you can just, right, so that's the kind of vibe. All open strings, and then he's going to go up here. So he's going to be picking that as like a bass line almost. And then just hit the mostly higher strings from there. Hitting those strings while you're hitting this. So that's on the D string, 12, 10, 9, 7, right? So all right, so that's that phrase, and then you got the, so that's that's you sliding up there. And you could be adding the open D string in between those slides, right? But and you can kind of hit the open strings in there like that, and hit the lower strings there to finish it off. So right, so that's how you finish that phrase. Right, and then you just repeat. Now you could if you want, and I kind of feel like this may be what he's doing on the actual record, but I could also be totally wrong, because these two strings are they're in unison. You could, if you wanted to, go. I think it's got kind of a cool sound to it. You could just hit the same fret on both of those and slide them up. The only problem is that it's hard to make that sound kind of smooth if you're just playing this live, right? But I think it sounds kind of cool either way. And so the next part after that is just... So that's just doing this kind of C walk down, and he's going to be muting the D string, and he's just kind of, so just, right, so, and then, right, so that's, this is fifth, on the high E string. Right, and you've seen some live videos of him doing this. You can do that too if you want. It sounds nice. It sounds pretty much the same. Right, either way. And, you know, pretty much the only other part is the bridge. When you see him live, he does this. Now, why he doesn't just bar it across his finger like that, I don't know, because it's the exact same thing. I guess the only thing that's being omitted is that A string, that note right there. But that's how he does it live. It's just, you know, doing the thumb and then the top four strings and then the bass note there and muting the A string. He just hits that those open strings, and then he just alternates between those two, right? And for the ending, he basically just ends on this lick. And that's how it ends. So thank you so much for watching. This tune has always been a really great one. Always had a really awesome atmosphere to it. And it was deceptively simple. I mean, I would have never guessed just from hearing it that it had that weird, really almost minimalistic tuning that ends up being really cool. So thank you so much for watching, and take care.